Hi, I'm Devin from Careerified. Welcome back to my home office. This week I wanted to talk a little bit about balance. Just bear with me here. Do you remember when you were in high school and it seemed like moving on to the next stages was the most important thing ever, right? It was all anybody talked about. They talked about what university they were going to study at because, of course, if you weren't going to university, you didn't talk about it. They talked about what subject they were going to study and all these epic career plans they had. And that seemed to be the main thing. Do you know what we didn't talk about? Was what we planned to do with the other 128 hours in the week after our work hours were finished. And that's what I want to talk about today. In all honesty, I don't think this has changed very much. I don't think we talk to our kids about having rich, balanced lives. I don't think we talk to them about employing your interests and your hobbies and your time outside of the workplace. And why do you think that is? I'm honestly asking. I don't know. I don't know if we think we're going to somehow demotivate our kids from finding a great career fit if we talk about life outside careers. I don't know if we think they're just going to figure it out. But part of the challenge is if they're not seeing it modeled in their own lives, they're not going to necessarily see that either, right? If we're not having those conversations about life outside of work, they're not going to understand life outside of work. Given the all-time high number of millennials and Gen Zs who are experiencing mental health issues, I would say talking about balance is probably a pretty important topic. You are more than your job. At least I believe you should be more than your job. And your kids probably know some things about your hobbies, right? Like they know if you're heading out to poker night or to book club or you're going to the gym. Although these days what you're probably doing is shutting a door and saying, I'm Zooming with my book club and I'm doing an online workout, but you get the idea. They know when you're doing those things, but do they know why you're doing those things? So let me give you a couple examples. If you are a music person, maybe you never pursued a career in music or never attempted to, but perhaps you jam a lot with your buddies. You've written a few songs. You maybe produced a few recordings with the band that you play with. Do your kids know that story? Do they know why? You obviously have some of the skill. Why didn't you go the professional route? Have you had that conversation with them? Or think about, especially this time of year, if you're doing a lot of like knitting or crocheting or crafting or something along those lines. And you're probably producing some beautiful gifts for your loved ones, but do your kids know about the creative satisfaction, the artistic satisfaction that you get out of doing that work? Do they know why you belong to a bowling league or a squash league or a pickup hockey league? Is that a conversation you've had with them? If you haven't had that conversation with your kids, give it a shot and see what happens. I think very, very often our kids get very stuck in trying to tie their interest to a career, right? I love music, so I must be a musician. And honestly, in a lot of cases, it freezes them up. So I think for your kids, having a conversation with them about how you take your interests and your hobbies and the things that you love to do and channel them into other routes might actually open up some more space and some more ideas for your kids to pursue in terms of careers. So that's my tip for this week. You are more than your job. So have a conversation with your kids about how they can also be more than their job. If you know any other parents who are struggling with helping their kids trying to figure out life after high school, feel free to share this video with them or share any of the videos with them. I will see you back here next week for a new tip. Thank you so much for joining me. You take good care.